so many opportunities. Good afternoon, and thank you all for joining us here today. And I want to welcome all of you as we officially launch our trade mission to China. I've been very much looking forward to this. I hope that you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving, that you enjoyed some time spent with family and possibly indulged in some leftovers at the beginning of this week. Terry and I were thrilled to have the family home for dinner. Reminded me that the kids are a lot like the autumn leaves. First, they turn on you. Then, they fly away. Next thing you know, you look out the window and they're back. But we're here to launch a return trip of our own. As Fareed was saying, this is my third mission to China. And I'm so pleased that I'll be joined by two terrific ministers in my government who could not join us here this evening. One of those is Sandra Pupatello. She's my Minister of International Trade and Investment. She's been working hard to promote trade abroad and to bring investment home. The other minister who's going to be joining us is Michael Chan, my Minister of Citizenship and Immigration. Michael is a proud Chinese Canadian whose professional and personal experiences will serve as a valuable guide for us in China. Most importantly, I'd like to thank each of you for joining us. Thank you for your advice and hard work to ensure that our mission is going to be a great success. And thank you for taking time away from your pressing responsibilities here in Ontario to help press our case in China. We're going to work hard. We're going to squeeze as much as we possibly can out of this trip, and we're going to enjoy the experience at the same time. China, for those of you who have not had the privilege to visit before, is a marvel to behold. You're going to find that people there will be warm and friendly and very interested in us. And of course, the opportunities for us in China are tremendous. The only downside to this trip is that you are going to be subjected to a number of my speeches. I've got to warn you, these speeches will necessarily be repetitive. You and I will move from event to event, but our audiences will differ. So that reminds me of a particular story. Albert Einstein, very famous scientist, had recently moved to the United States of America. And he received great acclaim. And he was on a speaking tour. It was a very aggressive speaking tour. And he had a chauffeur. And one day the chauffeur said to him, "I've heard that darn speech so often, I bet you I could get up and I could give that speech." So Einstein turns to the chauffeur. Remember, in those days, there wasn't the mass media, so most people didn't know what Einstein looked like. So Einstein turns to the chauffeur and says, "All right, you're on. Next event we go to, I'm going to stand at the back of the room. You're going to go to the front of the room. You're going to deliver that speech." So they go to the next venue. The chauffeur goes to the front of the room. He delivers the speech perfectly. But there's a question and answer session. The guy stands up, he lifts up his hand, and he asks a very complicated question. So the chauffeur, pretending to be Einstein, says, "That's such a simple matter, I'm going to refer it to my chauffeur at the back of the room." So if I get any difficult questions, I'll be referring them to you. I am honored to lead our trade delegation, and I'm here to help you have a successful trip. We are very proud of our relationship with China, our second largest trading partner. And we are eager to help the Chinese build a greener economy. Just before, in writing these remarks, just about an hour ago, I went online and I checked out the 11th five-year plan articulated in 2006, and I checked out some of the proceedings for the National Congress held in October of 2007. In those two events in particular, make it clear that China has now set an ambitious goal to become a world leader in green technologies and sustainable development. I also found this quotation from President Hu Jintao, who said the following: "China will promote a conservation culture by forming an energy and resource efficient and environment-friendly structure of industries, pattern of growth, and mode of consumption." So you have an important policy put in place by the Chinese government. It's more than just the government. The last time I was in China, I visited the city of Suzhou. And I had the opportunity there to meet with the mayor. And whenever I meet with a politician anywhere, I always have the same question. I know the official party line. But if I was to knock on 100 doors and talk to 100 families in the city of Suzhou, what would they tell me would be their number one priority? You know what his answer was? He said, "It's easy. It's pollution." So it's not just the Chinese government, with its progressive leadership, that is demanding change in terms of how we grow the economy there, but it's also ordinary families who are saying we've got to do something about pollution. So that presents a wonderful entree for us as we go to China. The people in this room have the technologies and the know-how that China wants and needs. Ontarians are counting on us to make the case, to make the sale, and to deliver. And I don't have to tell you we need this right now. Our economy, like so many other economies at this point in time around the world, needs a shot in the arm. You and I are going to help deliver that shot. I know that you're as excited as I am about the limitless possibilities that lie ahead for us. We're promoting more than the newest, greatest, and greenest in technology and conservation practices. We'll be telling our hosts that when you invest in Ontario, when you trade with Ontario, when you do business with Ontario, you have access to a well-educated and highly skilled workforce. Did you know that we have the highest rate of post-secondary education in the Western world here in Ontario? That's a wonderful competitive edge to lead with. We're also going to be telling them that they're joining our efforts to win the innovation race, to be the first to discover new ideas, the first to develop them into new products and services, and the first to market them to the world. One of the reasons why we became the first province in Canada to put in place a Ministry of Research and Innovation. One of the reasons why we put out $1.5 billion in the last 3 years to sponsor over 1,000 research and commercialization projects is because a long time ago when I went to China for the first time and met with leaders there, I discovered that at least half of them were science grads or engineers. They were on to this whole idea of innovation and the importance of finding a way to foster the development of new knowledge, new ideas, and to quickly commercialize those. So we adopted that practice here, I'm proud to say. We're also going to tell the Chinese that they're investing in a place that offers a competitive environment to do business, a gateway to North America because of our geography and ties to the US, but also a passageway to the world economy because of our diversity, because Ontarians speak every language, embrace every culture, and understand every market. I know that I can count on you to tell Ontario's story and to tell your story and to be great ambassadors for our province. So thank you very much again for joining us on this wonderful adventure. I look forward to seeing all of you and to chatting with you along the way. Thank you very much. Any refreshments in here? Bars open.
Thank you, Premier, for those wonderful and kind words. The Premier has another commitment and may have to leave shortly, but the rest of us can continue to network. I understand as well that there are media kits available and also delegate kits available at the reception desk outside. And again, looking forward to this trip, and hopefully we'll bring back a lot of investment to Ontario and also demonstrate that Ontario, as the Premier said, can compete and win globally. We've got the most educated workforce in the Western world, and as the Premier often said, there are only 13 million of us, and which means that all of us has to be at our best. So thank you, Premier, and looking forward to this trip, and thanks to all of you for coming out and making this truly a successful event, a successful launch, and looking forward to see you guys on the trip next week. Thank you very much.
Hey, Joe, you're coming in?
Yeah.
Counting on you, man. You got to deliver for us. Big time.
What time is tonight in Toronto?
I don't know.
He was driving on Torino's Marches. He was also driving in Isabel. It's flipping through the Torino traffic. So initially the launch is global.
Thanks. Good luck with that, eh?
Thank you.
How are you? You don't much, man.
I'm
Paying attention. I had dinner with Peter last night.
Yeah. Hey, my colleague Julie.
Julie, how are you? Coming on the trip, Julie?
I am.
You ready for this?
I am.
They're not paying you enough, I'll tell you that.
New news policy, media news and business. Very good. In this difficult time,
And the food is good too. I think I go on the 24th. When do I leave?
今次先係講環保有冇咩重點？呢個團全部都環保啊！呢個團全部都係環保，咁並且係省長第一次專門帶一個單一嘅行業去中國啊嘛。咁而呢個單一嘅行業咧， 就係環保。咁呢次去嘅所有嘅公司咧，都係集中係環保。咁當然我哋仲有2間大學但係如果從你講公司咧，就係全部都係環保。咁喺環保咧，佢都有分好多個領域嘅。咁就有幾個唔同嘅領域咯。主要一個係再生能源或者叫新能源，另外一個咧就係污水同埋廢物管理處理咯。咁另外咧仲有空氣嗰啲污染治理同埋其他嘅一啲環保嘅一啲比較零零碎碎嘅行業。咁應該嚟講咧，我哋今次有20零間公司安省嘅公司，咁就係基本上都係呢啲公司嘅 CEO 董事會主席或者係 partner 咁樣去，就係層次係比較高。今次咧安省咧呢個團咧主要係去上海同埋南京。然後咧，我哋就會一齊去北京咧，就參加嗰個叫做 CCBC 組織嘅嗰個活動。咁喺嗰個活動就喺北京同埋重慶，咁就等於總共係去4個城市。但係安省自己嘅活動咧，主要就係上海同南京。我哋係要26號去到上海，咁就係6號咧就正式結束所有嘅呢個官方活動。